Thank you. It's a great pleasure to address mainly the students. I'm sure most of them are from science background. I'll be emphasizing importance of research and the finer things associated with carrying out research in the context of science. I'm sure same things will be applicable to social sciences and other sciences. In science, we study nature. Why we study nature? Because nature is beautiful. The scientist doesn't study nature because it is useful to do so. He studies it because he takes pleasure in it. And he takes pleasure in it because it is beautiful. If nature were not beautiful, it would not be worth knowing, and life would not be worth living. I mean the intimate beauty which comes from harmonious order of its parts and which a pure intelligence can grasp. Now, some of you go for science, some of you go for computer science, so many branches of knowledge. But everywhere somebody has to create that knowledge and find meaning to their life. We are not just born, take birth, get some job, get some skill, eat, live, die. When we say meaningful life, say like Raman, or a Newton, or Einstein, or C.N.R. Rao, or Sarabhai Kalam, we look at them with great admiration, great reverence. Why? They led a meaningful life, and that meaningful life affected others and made their life also important. So in this context, what happens is, we look at the country, we look at the education, and you have to understand what is education. Education is to create men and women who care and serve. That is the main thing, who care and serve. And effect of education will be peace and prosperity for all. That is what we are struggling in this country, what Modi ji is trying to do. Now you may ask, everybody must be having their ideas for their life, ideals in their life. But if you look at some of the persons like Raman, why did he become a scientist? He was not bothered about anything in the beginning. What happened? Because nowadays we hardly have habit of reading good books. Let me tell you that much. Please do. So Raman was a great reader of all the things. So he comes across a book, Light of Asia, written by Edwin Arnold. Light of Asia, written by Edwin Arnold. And the book was about Siddhartha. You know all Siddhartha, who became Gautam Buddha later. When he read it, Siddhartha left home, kingdom, children, wife, everything he had. He said, is it all to life? Does life goes round this? If Buddha can leave whole thing for the search for truth, search for understanding, understanding of oneself, understanding of others, understanding of all that is around, what is world, whole thing. After all, that is what we want to do, who we are, from where we came, where we are going. It is not just eat and sleep. So he said, let me sacrifice. He sacrificed so much. Let me sacrifice my life for truth. Truth means understanding any area of your search. That's how he left. When he had got the job of Assistant Accountant General, highest paying job in Calcutta, he left and became a professor in Calcutta University at a lower salary. So it is not the money, it is not the salary or anything. He sacrificed himself for research, searching for the truth. You know, to do research, you don't have to do anything. Just you have to know what is not known. Research means what is not known in a certain area. That is, and what is research methodology? Work like a devil with no holds barred. Hard work till you get. So research is understanding the things. Another thing, I read how beautiful science is, studying science is beautiful, concepts are beautiful, laws are beautiful, and you know what is beautiful. And all of you have read Euclid's Elements, geometry in high school, right? High school. You have wonderful circle, wonderful ellipse, so many things, beautiful figures. That also inspired. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? That's why I see so many things, circular things, elliptical things, hyperbolic things, wonderful in nature. So he said, what kind of beauty there exists in this world? One is aesthetic, what we see through our eyes, beautiful persons, beautiful painting, beautiful. And what we see, that's beautiful. But there is what is known as intellectual beauty. Now we have to go to that. We human beings think. I think, therefore I am. We are thinking persons. We are not biological configurations. We are values configurations, values. So beauty, aesthetic and intellectual. We come to intellectual, then we come to mind. What mind can do, what mind can think, what mind wants to do its purpose. So this is all about understanding. Understanding, knowledge creation, creativity. So these two things, beauty and search for truth, set Raman on the path of research to know what is not known. If you want to put me that in more sophistication, research or science is nothing but everyday refinement of our thinking. We are capable of thinking and we go on refining our thinking. Earlier we used to say, sun goes round the earth. Then we threw it, right? Earth goes round the sun. Then Newton came. He gave his laws. He gave something about, gravitational attraction and all that. But later Einstein came and threw the Newton's thing. No, that's not right. So we become, we go on refining our thinking in every field. Don't think that knowledge stops, everything in science is done or everything in this field is done. No. It is like climbing a limitless ladder. Limitless ladder you are climbing, there is no limit for it. That is, search for knowledge. That is science. I don't know whether one can reach the end. We are not gods, if at all one says God. So that is the thing. And research means knowing what is not known. Scientist, it is a reflection of every day of our thoughts. And those who think, they are thinkers. We have great many thinkers in our country. Other countries, philosophers, thinkers. What we need is not anybody who can think anything. Original thinkers. Original thinkers. What original thinkers do? Original thinkers change the nature of what seems obvious. Original thinkers. So when one says, I'm thinking, you have to think right way. There are ways to think. There are ways to ask questions and think. Original thinkers. Original thinkers see what others won't see. Einstein was an original thinker, Newton was an original thinker, Copernicus was an original thinker. Something original. Rest vanish. You know, in scientific field, there was a time when you publish anything trash. What is the use of publishing anything? You know, then they used to say, publish and perish. Those who publish something trash, they vanish. Oh, that guy does useless things. Now, some people publish and perish. Trash publication, they vanish. Nobody takes their articles, their research papers seriously. That's why it matters a lot how deep your thinking is, what questions you are addressing, what is the answer of that question, how it changes the frontiers of the knowledge. Because frontiers of the knowledge are on the move, tremendously moving, and wonderful things in research, understanding are happening at the boundary between knowledge and ignorance. Really, that's why we say we have to study these multidisciplinary courses. Wonderful things can happen, research problems if you are searching. Important research problems, not just something. So, research at the multidisciplinary areas where knowledge and ignorance meet. Earlier they started separate physics, chemistry and all that. Now they want to merge, integrated thing. Wonderful problems emerge. And those wonderful problems emerge, they are for our societal development, whether it is Make in India, whether for our farmers in villages, for hunger, for diseases, health, whether science and technology, Chandrayaan 3, all those things, they have their effect for the well-being. That's why we say sustainable development. Sustainable in the sense, resources, human resource we have. And natural resources we can't just throw away and finish it off without leaving anything for the future generation. Future. Finish everything, everywhere, This is leading to climate change. This is leading to floods. This is leading to all kinds of things. We can't get the drinking water. Sometimes you think development is a problem. You have to be very, very careful with regard to the development, how it affects. That's very important, not just development without thinking. So, and also all of you know what is happening in the world today. Wars, right? Those of who you follow, whether it is the war in Israel, war in Ukraine, all the food developed is burned. We human beings are worst kind of people. So their values come. We need human resource which imbibes values. That's why, as you ask what is research, we should ask what is university. What is college is also part of university. Higher education, what is higher education? What is higher in higher education? What is higher in higher education? Higher education, apart from teaching these skills, they are skills anybody can learn. University or college stands for humanism. Humanism, manaviyate. It stands for tolerance. It stands for reason. It stands for search for truth, search for ideas, adventure of ideas, and onward march of human race for higher objectives in life. We know what are higher objectives in life, but if you see around the world, hardly there is any humanism, hardly there is any tolerance, hardly there is any reasoning. Once in a while, we have saints, sages, they come and over. Again, the same story continues. And this, something came, Kumta is a small place. What can we do? We don't have infrastructure. Nowadays, funds are not coming. But should that stop people? Ultimately, a researcher is a determined fellow. Nobody wants to throw their ideas and vanish, pursues the idea. I will tell you a real thing. I think the country must be Tanzania. In Tanzania, in a school, there was a guy, Mapemba. You go to the net, just type Mapemba. He was, even not in the 8th standard. Friends were making ice creams. 2 glasses. The fellow put little hotter ice cream in one glass and another ice cream which was little bit cooler. It's like saying, 45 degree, 30 degree. And he put in the freezer. But which one you think freeze first? Which one? 45 degree and 35 degree. Which one? Tell me loudly, madam. 45? Why? Hotter gets cooler faster? But there was another one at 35. Should it not become, but what the fellow observes is which is at a higher temperature, froze early. It's a surprise. Common sense, it is. After all, what is common sense is nothing but our prejudices we accumulate by the age 18 and they stay with us. Common sense is a very dangerous thing. It's not right. Okay? So, that is surprising. The fellow repeats, he finds the same thing, and his friend starts laughing. What are you doing? What kind of funny physics you are doing? This guy, less than 8th standard. Everybody used to taunt him, laugh at him. And then one day, a professor from University of Dar es Salaam comes to his school and gives a talk. After the talk, questions. The guy again puts this question. Again, everybody laughs. But the guy had determination. He never cared whether somebody laughs or somebody cares. That is what his observation, one of the important parts of doing science. The professor also starts wondering. Then a good professor is one who says, okay, I will go back to university. I have research students. I'll put them on this problem and come back to you. He encouraged him. So he goes back to university and does it with his help of research students. He too finds like that boy. It is confirmed. And that professor publishes that research article in a British journal. First name, Mpemba. Mpemba effect. Isn't it? I mean, sometimes common sense is a dangerous thing. One thing. And second thing is, if your sense of observation, if it is right, stick to it. Your curiosity, your sense of wonder, all those things are a must. Your imagination, they all become part of creativity. You should somehow see to it that curiosity, wonder, all these things, how you develop in the students, kids. That's very important, because imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is just accumulated thing. You know Ramanujan, how did he do research? What do you call it? Thousands of theorems. Didn't go to more than BSc 1. Still people are working, great mathematician on his theorems. But his imagination, he was a Swayambhu, everything by himself. So don't think that you are in Kumta, you are here, you are there, money, all those things, not a problem. Ultimately, problem is we ourselves, our determination, our passion, imagination, doing something, contributing something. That is the kind of thing. So that paper gets published in a good physics journal in UK. Still people, and no explanation coming, physics explanation, theoretical. Royal Society of Britain announces a prize of £1,000. Whoever gives a good explanation, we give them the prize, still it is open. These are sometimes what we call open problems. How many years it may take, we don't know. In mathematics also there are some theorems which took 300 years. Fermat's theorem, things like that. Some Kepler's laws took 20, 30 years. So persist with your passion. Whatever your ideas, follow it. One day you will. That's what scientists are made of. So this is, so whichever place, you come across wonderful thing, keen sense of observation, one of the criteria for research. You know Rutherford? Rutherford was doing scattering of alpha particles. He was shooting alpha particles at a thin film. Alpha particles are positively charged particles. One or two, once in a while, they used to hit and come back straight. That is 180-degree reflection. Others used to go this side, that side. Why? Then he thought there must be positive charges in the foil. It is hitting that positive charge, getting reflected and coming straight back. That led to the discovery of nucleus, greatest discovery. You know, sometimes one single observation, careful observation, and that careful observation, not that he went and saw it came, no, persistence. So, and what happens is, many a times, what we think is impossible, nothing is impossible, I would say. A physicist will never say this is impossible. Similarly in other fields, why it is not impossible? You know, in our some movies, you know, related to Purana and all that, somebody vanishes from here, surfaces there, they are becoming reality. At this scale, it is with regard to atoms and small objects, they have succeeded. One day they may succeed, other things. So many things what we think impossible. Now the question is, when you use the word impossible when doing research, be careful. Impossible, whenever we teach the students, irrespective of the subject, when you say a law, Newton's law of universal gravitation, universal, it is valid all over the world, universe, whatever. Limit of validity, when that law is valid, when it is not valid. Whenever we give any theory, anything, it has a limited validity. We should tell the student, this is valid only this law. Because when apple fell, he asked why it fell, why it didn't go this side, that side, up and all that. After that is settled, he said, why not moon fall on earth? Right? So is it that attraction which is pulling it to the ground, that attraction all the way goes to moon or not? It does. Moon falls, but other planets and other attractions balance such that it goes around the earth. So such things have to be made clear to students. When is it valid? When is it not valid? If you know it is valid in a limited range, then you have to go beyond that limited range. Then that is research. Continue. So all the laws have their limitation. Break that limitation. So what we are studying is one, all our laws, all our whatever it is, within a certain range. It may be length, it may be velocity, it may be anything. And second one, impossibilities are, why not I walk through a wall? Harry Potter. Somebody sees Harry Potter. Think, just those laws are valid only when the conditions are at the boundary. They are valid. But to get it proved and all that, it may take hundreds of years. Third kind of impossibility is beyond the range of validity, beyond our assumptions, beyond our thinking. Again, it may take few thousand years to develop the theory. The way Newton developed, Einstein surpassed. One day Einstein will be thrown out, somebody will be coming out. So this is a everyday refinement of our thinking. So theory becomes better and better, better and better. Another thing is, we say somebody is genius. Who is a genius? Ask yourself, high intelligent question, IQ, this, that, or those who work hard, great concentration, pursuit to the end. So many things, what is the difference between talent and intelligence, intelligence and genius? So many, there are a lot of things. Now the thing is, this genius, this intelligence, it has to be cultivated when we teach students this curiosity and all those things. And secondly, what we don't do in classes, whether it is in the primary school or anywhere, asking questions. We don't like students to ask the questions. If you don't ask the questions, no question of anything coming out useful. What, why, all those things. There was a Nobel laureate, a rabbi. When he was in the school, he used to come from school. When he used to come from school, somebody asked him earlier,
You can have, and time is about to
end. Okay. So his mother used to ask him. She never asked him, what did you learn? She asked, did you ask a good question? That made him a Nobel laureate. Questions. Asking questions and thinking. Working hard. That's why Raman said 3 key words: self-respect, self-confidence, self-reliance. In India, why we are giving importance on research? Because the world is becoming very complicated. You have to be self-sustained, whether it is science, whether it is technology. Otherwise, you can't trust the nations. They do what is good for them. That is very, very... And why Einstein? Last thing I will tell and close. Einstein was a genius of whatever the order. In the beginning, he went on developing wonderful things. Brownian motion he solved, relativity, special theory of relativity, things like that, his intelligence was constant. But the problems he was solving, one after another. Einstein never believed attending conferences, reading books too much, because they bias you, a lot of information nowadays, right? But suddenly, after some time, his creativity fell down. He could not do anything, because knowledge was growing, he was reading about them, his mind was getting biased. He became a commoner. He never broke the rule rut, First thing is break the rules. Rule rut ಅಂದರೆ ಕೆಸರೊಳಗೆ ಚಕ್ಕಡಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅದು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಚಕ್ಕಡಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರಾಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತವೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡು ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಆ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮುಟ್ತೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಊರು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್. ಐನ್ಸ್ಟೀನ್ ಬ್ರೋಕ್ ದ ರೂಲ್, ಟೈಮ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್. Einstein break the rule, length is not absolute. Break it. Then new thing will emerge. That's what. But later, Einstein believed in wrong things. He didn't break the rules. That is the thing. Because, why our train tracks, broad gauge, have seen, from where did they come? From where did they come? British used to rule whole world. And Romans had chariots. Chariots means 2 horses. Then you can measure the distance between 2 horses when they pull that chariot. And that chariot used to have axle, right? Wheel axles. Britishers started making only those axles. That length, fixed length. So that became a broad gauge. That started in America, that we do in India, but nowadays things are changing. What happens is, something, without questioning, we adopt. This is, we have to break, because this breaking the rules is a good thing. And then see the consequences. Newer things will emerge. One can do anything, anywhere, and teach students how to ask questions and think. That's very, very important. Otherwise, nothing will come out. Asking right questions. That's a very, very, because rote learning, nowadays rote learning is at the root of the rot in education. So please stop it. Make them creative. What is creativity? Frame your own syllabus for creativity. Then teach them. Okay, that's how, depending on the age and all that. So I'm glad that you have really started thinking this about, it's okay. Yeah. You should do this. What is creativity? How concepts are formed? How fundamentals? What is a fundamental thing? What is a concept? Let the students come out with their own concept. Let them associate with teachers and investigate anything. Discovery, innovation. So we want our country to be ahead in innovation so that our problems are solved. Research has a purpose also, apart from generating knowledge, Srijanashilate, nothing compared to that. That's what we are born for. Thank you. Wish you all the best.